Skite is using La Passion to IGL his team into potentially making playoffs.
Fuck up!
They both walk.
I'm tired of you bitching! Shut the fuck up! We won the round! Why you always trying to bitch at your teammates? You stupid bitch!
Zonky having an absolute top tier game, rivaling Exer for the best player inside of Element. So this is everything you need to know about week 1 going into week 2 of Element 6. So a lot has happened in the past week. We had 4 play days. 2 teams go and promote themselves up into the playoffs, and 2 teams that fell down and are no longer in the event. I guess we could start with those. So it was Five Fears versus F5, and then Core versus Heart and Soul in that elimination matchup. One team had to go 0-3 and out, and those teams were F5 and Heart and Soul. F5, everybody thought that Fire was going to have a fantastic game, and not really. Not having too impressive stats there. And then sadly, Joe is out of the tournament. I still, to this day, I do not know what has happened to this team. They've lost to Carnenco, which their 2 other games, they didn't even get around. So I think this is going to be, it's tough, you know, it's sad. Core, though, honestly, I thought Heart and Soul was going to win that game. Core, not only did they surprise me by winning, but winning in a 2-0 fashion, crazy. Five Fears finally enabling Kool-Aid, in my opinion, their best player. He also is now their top-rated player, so really good stuff there. And more 2-0s on the upper half of the bracket in the promotion for round 3. SOS beat Kiki, or I guess ex-Hakiki Mori, 2-0. You know, pretty fashion there. Space Shoobs, they fall down to Freaky Frogs, also 0-2. Kind of, you know, close games. It was a thing where it's like, no matter what both maps were going, we knew that both of those teams were going to promote themselves into playoffs. And again, those are 2 teams, in my opinion, the most difficult team or most difficult matchups for Space Shoobs and Kiki. I honestly think going on, they're going to qualify. Speaking of those 2 teams, in round 4, they're playing each other. Space Shoobs and Hakiki Mori, or Kiki, are playing in round 4. They'll be playing yet another best of 3 to see if they're going to either go to playoffs or go into the final round 5 elimination bracket. You're going absolutely crazy. Skite also going crazy, making almost every stream look like a Trend Twin video.
What the fuck? What? Yeah, go! Yes, go! You're on this ball! Clean it up!
But just using passion, man. I was, when they were facing, what was it? When they were facing Wanagoons, I was really asking myself, are they going to go a map that's not Clubhouse? And they did. They went to Chalet. They had a really rough start on the attack after they went up 2-0 because, I mean, the util game that Wanagoons was bringing was just way too much for them. But once they switched on to overtime after having a couple of good defensive rounds, they really locked in. And honestly, this team is surprising me because I went back and watched some of the stream, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know how they got to this point, but, I mean, my opinion right now, and if you're a console fan, a lot of people are talking trash on the comms. I still do think these are pretty bad comms, but the fact that they're able to win these rounds, especially with Boots having a relatively bad game, at least to what he's used to, having players like Chicks go huge, even Skite was positive in the double digits in kills, had a really good last round there. I think this team has a really bright future, but they just got to calm down their comms, and I think they'll be fine. Carnenco and CLB. Heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking. Zonky, the Zonkster, went 12-0. And you also had a 0 in their game, Carnenco, because they didn't win a round. The second 7-0 loss for them, man. As a fan of Karn, as a fan of the King, he's no longer in the club. He's out in the alley, and he goes down 0-3. He's going to have to face Five Fears. Another scary matchup. I think that can potentially go 3 maps if they lock in, but I just don't think that this roster that Karn has is going to be able to pull everything together, get it all working out, especially against a team like Five Fears, even with their own struggles. I think this the team, the caliber of players on it, especially with how they're meshing with Kool-Aid and Skies, is just going to be too much for them. Akron and Black Stallions, really fantastic game. I think, in my opinion, that's the best game that we've seen from Akron Even though they did lose more rounds, if you're not familiar with competitive Siege, they just played better because Black Stallions, in my opinion, were a better team than Heart and Soul. Again, no idea what happened. Joe, you're forever in my heart. R.I.P. Joe. Whatever he was born to 2025. The birds they're flying away. But yeah, they also continue their 100% conversion rate in post-plant scenarios. Before that game, it was 7-0, and with one plant, it turned into 8-0. They also struggled on their own attacks, respectively, but again, it's Chile. It's a difficult map to attack on. Moneyball and Alex. I thought it was going to go overtime. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than it was, but Moneyball just not really being able to attack layer into an extent where, I guess you could say deep. There's a lot of vertical takes where either they didn't really try, they sent 1 or 2 players and then eventually gave up, or some rounds, specifically on that Bunks bomb site, where they just didn't even attempt it. Like, they didn't try to set up a round. They tried to get really fast pushes. And to be fair, Alex also did the same thing when they switched into attack, but after a round or two, especially after one where they got a fast one player, I think it was Focal who had a fucking crazy game, almost dropping 20 if it wasn't for his teammates picking it up in the last couple of rounds, at 18 to finish it off. He had a huge round, getting 2 kills into the bomb site. I think that really switched the momentum there. So again, I think it was still a good game, even if they did struggle quite a bit on that attack for Moneyball. But going on to the rest of our round 4 matchups, which we'll be streaming. We will have, if I believe, let me check, because I'm casting it. I should know this. Space Shoes versus Kiki, and then Alex versus Akron. Both of those are promotion matchups. All games going forward are best of 3s. No longer will we have best of 1s. I'm a best of 3 fanatic. I just love best of 3s. I think they're just a lot better competitively. Alex, man, yeah, they taken that. I think it does have potential to go 3 maps. I will give Akron that much, but I'm not going to give them a win because it's Alex. I mean, come on, let's be real here. But I think there is a possibility it goes 3 maps. Realistically, probably is a 2-0. I think Space Shoops Kiki goes 3 maps, but I think Space Shoops is just the better team all around. They also have the more experienced. Kiki still somewhat figuring things out. I think I've just really liked what I've seen from not only Space Shoops, but King Xer, who I guess is the next pickup. He is the next T2 up to T1 prodigy, apparently. That came out of nowhere. Not necessarily saying Xer was a bad player, but I mean, he's like one of the top rated players. Like, he is like top 5, probably top 3. It is insane. His glow up this stage has been just phenomenal. Then you have Urine CLB. This one I'm excited for, but I think this is really going to come to the sense where we're going to see the mental and the lack of cohesion on that IGL and comm center, the issues I've been talking about on the overall team play, really come into fruition. Maybe 3 maps. I think it's going to be a 2-0. I think CLB is a team that can really counter and see the mistakes of Ur very early on and then use them against them. Wanagoons, I can't say they're a team that can do that. Cord can't do that either. Maybe to an extent, but I just don't think they were able to really play against Ur. I mean, come on, like, it's Clubhouse. I don't know why they took them there, but and then they played Alex. Like, yeah, I mean, they lost there 8-6. I think just Alex was a little rusty. They weren't ready for that, but even with that, they countered them pretty good. So I think that should be a very, very good one for CLB, but a very good learning experience for Ur because they're still evolving. They're still learning very fast at that. In my opinion, I don't want to say, Space Shoops Kiki game. You can't beat that, really. But Moneyball, Black Stallions, that's also another really good one. We're now getting into the, I believe, 1 and 2. Yeah, these are the 1 and 2. So, are they promotions? No, I think they were 1 and 2. Yeah, they're 1 and 2. Yeah, okay, I'm tripping. Yeah. So, the Space Shoops, Alex, your game, those are all 2 and 1s. If they lose, they're fine. They go on to round 5. But Moneyball, Black Stallions, Core, Wanted Goons, and then finally Karn in 5 Fears. If any of those, whoever loses out of those matchups, they're gone. And if you win, you still have to play another best of 3. Moneyball versus Black Stallions, I got Moneyball on that. I think Black Stallions is a really good roster. And I hate that they're in this position. I thought they would have had another chance to maybe qualify, but honestly, I think this is realistically where I thought they would go. But I just think the raw talent on Moneyball beats them, and I think their loss to Alex really taught them a lot. I think that, cohesion, I think the inexperience of the 3 new console players, Vex been playing for a little bit longer, but the switchovers, I think, is really where they shut down. Moneyball is continuously not only putting pressure, but allowing those 3 players to decide rounds, putting them in very crucial positions. Even on the defense, they made a lot of mistakes, more specifically attacking the late rounds. So I think if those 3 players can, kind of lock themselves in, or if Kiru and BGL can, help guide them a little bit more to not make those mistakes, then I think it's going to be a very convincing win for Moneyball. Core versus Wandagoons. This is, in my opinion, the hardest one to call because of Core's performance against Heart and Soul. Again, with the disaster class that Heart and Soul has had this event, it is kind of tough to really weigh on how much Core is. It's just difficult because, like, going into this, I didn't expect much. They went 0-2, and then they had the Heart and Soul. Heart and Soul, I mean, just no idea what happened there. And then Wandagoons. Honestly, they've had very convincing showings for me. That 8-7 loss, they could have won, but they had connection issues. So they could have been in a very different situation. But I'm going to take Wandagoons for now because I think the skill ceiling on that team is higher. It just depends on who shows up, in my opinion, who wants it more. And I think Core can maybe beat them, but I do think just that experience and skill ceiling for Wandagoons is going to beat out Core. And then we have Karn versus 5 Fears. I think this is either going to be a really close match. As I spoke about, the Heart and Soul game with Karn was really good. Karn eventually beating them out. The graphic on Twitter, I just realized, is wrong. Karn did not win. But, yeah, I think that win against 7 Heart and Fears, even with, Heart and Soul, the win for Karn versus Heart and Soul was really good, no matter the context of how Heart and Soul played, because they were playing good on that bank, and I think there was a lot of really good calls. I liked the blitz play with Deity there, taking Karn off the shields and to say he's bad. I just don't think his shield play fits on bank specifically. So if they can bring that same counterplay or specific style against 5 Fears in this best of 3, again, since it is a best of 3, they haven't been able to play a best of 3 just yet, then I think it goes 3 maps, but I think 5 Fears. It's just, I don't think this Karn roster is working. I don't think they have enough time to fix their problems, if that's even possible. So I think 5 Fears, they get this here. I don't want to say it's going to be 2-0. I think Karn brings a really good game. I think they counter 5 Fears really good. I mean, they have the staff for it. They have the experience. I think Karn knows what he's doing, no matter the showing, no matter the 7-0s. So I think it goes 3 maps, but I think 5 Fears come on top. So I guess we could say Space Shoobs qual, Alex qual, CLB quals, and then we have Black Stallions, Core, and Karn being eliminated. But I want to hear what you think. Even though I have a 75% prediction rate, I got to throw it in there. The best prediction rate on A stream minus B stream because T-Van has 79%. No idea where this guy locked in from because last stage he was having difficulties. But shout out T-Van. But I want to know what you guys think, especially if you are your fans, if you are Core fans. I know that's a very big org. There's a lot of fans behind that. So I want to know what you guys' thoughts and opinions are on the teams. Who do you think is going to make it to playoffs? Who do you think is going to have to step back 6 feet and go to the bed instead of going home? Because this is not a LAN. This is tier 2. Not just yet. There is a LAN grand final. But yeah, I've been Goose, and this has been your week 1 into week 2 recap. And again, Space Shoobs, Hakikimori or Kiki, and then Alex and Akron will be playing this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll be casting that. So I'll see you guys then. But until then, have a fantastic night.